my business partner punched me in the face. And that's only the second worst thing that happened to me that week, because all that plunged me into a depression. But I realized that was the greatest gift that I've ever been given. And I realized at the exact moment that I chose to realize that that was a gift. It was a few days after the assault, and I'm sitting in my place. I'm sitting in my sofa in my house, and I have the Johnny Walker poured. I was rolling a joint, and I was going to do some cocaine. Because at that point in my life, that's how I dealt with problems. And that's how I escaped. And I'll tell you, I needed a lot of escape at that moment. Because even before the thing with my business partner, I was going through a divorce. So it's like the personal part of my life was crumbling. And then all this thing, and now the next thing I know, the business that I worked so hard to create is falling apart as well. And I have lawsuits, restraining orders, and everything else. And I don't know if you ever went through anything yourself, really intense, and it really made you reflect on your life. And that evening, that's what I was doing. I started to really reflect on my life. Because from the outside, it looked like I was very successful. So even before these two events, I founded 3 successful software companies in California. I played semi-pro basketball. I lived in 8 countries. So on the material level, I was doing very well, though I didn't have any internal joy and fulfillment. And so I started thinking to myself, hey, what's going on? Am I not working hard enough? But I am working hard enough, and I'm achieving my goals, but I kept waiting for the payoff. I kept waiting for that internal fulfillment, that internal win. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, am I broken? I was almost like I was angry at God, and I wasn't even sure if there was a God. But I'm like, am I broken, or am I cursed? Is there something wrong with me that I'm never going to get there? But then I made 2 life-changing decisions that evening, 2 life-changing decisions. So instead of going the drug and alcohol route, instead of self-medicating myself, I did something self-nurturing. I went for a jog. I went for a run. And then I told myself, you know what? I'm a good achiever. I must have just been setting my sights on the wrong things. So I told myself I'm going to do whatever it takes to get happy. That's my new goal. And I found what I believe is the best place on earth to do that, and it's the University of Santa Monica. I ended up earning a master's degree in spiritual psychology. So what I wanted to do here is I wanted to give everybody a little bit of a taste of spiritual psychology. So we're going to spend the next 12 minutes hugging and meditating. I'm just joking. You can always tell the Austrians and the Germans when I say that, because they get white knuckles. They go, 9 hugging, 9 hugging. It's okay, no hugging in this. If I did a breakout, maybe we'd do some hugging, but anyway. But what I did is, here's what spiritual psychology is. We take the assumption that we're all loving beings, and we use psychology to clear out, and this is a scientific term, all the crap in there, all the unresolved issues. Because when we clear all that crap out, then we're more in line with the true person that we are. We're more in line with our true loving self. And we're more in line with our soul, if you choose to believe we have a soul. And I'll tell you, the changes in me, from a personal point of view, were transformational. And transformational is thrown around a lot nowadays, but it was truly transformational to me on the personal level. But then I took it to my companies, my organizations, because at that time I had 3. I was running 2 software companies. I had 3 in total. And I started implementing it into my work life. And my businesses, they took off. We were listed on the Inc. 500 fastest growing companies. We were voted #1 best place to work in San Diego, California. And I won Social Entrepreneur in 2013 as well. So what I did is I wanted to really spread this message. So I sold off my software companies, and now I'm a best-selling author. I'm a teacher and trainer. And what I do is I teach soul-centered leadership. Because I realized in this life that if you want to go far, if you truly want to go far, you have to look in. So if you want these changes on the external part of your life, it starts with what's inside. And I'll tell you, as game changers, as entrepreneurs, as investors, whatever you're here doing, it takes such a tremendous amount of courage to do what you're doing. And it's like nobody really gets it. When you start a business, nobody really gets how difficult it is. Not your friends, not your family, and they might give you some sort of support, but not the real type of support you need. So today I thought, what's the strongest piece of content that I have that I can give you? And so we're going to work on procrastination, fear, and resistance. Procrastination, fear, and resistance. Because if you're a risk taker, if you're a game changer, by taking risks, then you experience these. So when I mention procrastination, I want you to take the thing. Whenever I mention that, I'm sure one thing that came to your mind. And I want you to take whatever that is, specifically what it is, and I want you to put in the back of your head, because we're going to come back to it in a couple minutes. So I wanted to give you a story first about how some of this procrastination, fear, and resistance changes my actions. Because I was in a networking event, and I'm sure we've all been to networking events, right, where you go there and the purpose is to meet other people. So I park my car, I walk in, I'm alone, and as I walk in, I see 3 people standing in a semicircle there. So I'm at a networking event, right, so it's just a great place to come up and introduce myself. So I walk up and introduce myself to I'm on my way to these 3 people, and out of the corner of my eye, I spot the bar. Now, for some unknown reason, I make a pivot. Instead of introducing myself to these people, I go and I get a drink. So 2 minutes later, here I am sipping on my drink. I'm like, my God, what a loser I am. Oh my gosh, I could have introduced myself to these people, but I'm sitting here alone with my drink, right? Anybody relate to this? All right, good. I thought I was going crazy. I was the only one, so thanks. But I had fear. I had a fear there. Anybody want to guess what my fear was? I had a fear of rejection. I had a fear of rejection, which is totally crazy, because how many times have you been to a networking event and you introduce yourself to someone and they say, oh, hello, I don't like you, right? It's a total irrational fear, but it changed my activities. It changed my actions. And so there I was. And we just have to be so aware and alert of where these happen in our life, because they really change us in all these different areas. Now, when I had my software companies, I went out and I was having coffee with this one lady. And just like probably a million times you've had coffee with people that might be like a referral source or whatever, and she was a potential referral source. When we got back about an hour or two later, it was a regular half an hour to 45-minute coffee, and we get back, and I got an email from her, and we had a couple of small follow-ups, no big deal. And she wrote me an email, and the email basically said, hey, I don't like you, and I don't want us to interact anymore. I'm like, you don't like me? Do you know who I am? How could anybody not like me? But she literally said that in basically those words. And it really threw me for a loop, because, I started really evaluating the whole conversation with her. It was about half an hour, 40 minutes. I'm like, did I say something to piss her off? Did I say something insensitive? No, it was just a very, very normal coffee. And then I thought, oh my God, am I unlikable? Do other people not like me? Man, maybe just nobody has the guts to say it. Maybe this is a widespread problem in my life. And it really threw me for a loop for a little while that day. But then, like I mentioned before, I chose to take it as a gift. And here's what I mean by that. I realized, and I gave myself permission, that not everybody's going to like me. Because to be honest, I've been at networking events too, and I've met some people, and I'm like, yeah, this person, that's not what they said or didn't say. It's just like, yeah, I might not be that in tune with this person. I really don't like talking to this person. And so what I also realized is that so many different times I'd be with one person or a group of people, and I would say something or not say something because I really wanted to be liked. I really wanted to be accepted. But all of a sudden, I gave myself permission to just be myself and to realize, I'm a big, tall, loud American with a strong personality. Some people are going to like me and some people aren't. And that's okay. So now I have permission. What happens actually is when I'm at a networking event, I tell myself, I'm going to go introduce myself to this person, and they may or may not like me. And that's okay. And if I'm talking to them and it's not a very exciting conversation, I go talk to somebody else. But and the funny thing is, now I'm being more me, I'm being more natural, and actually I think I'm more likable now that I am just being myself. I met a guy one time, and he travels a lot for work. I think a lot of us travel a lot for work, and we travel solo too. And if you travel when you're by yourself for work and you stay in a hotel, and it comes dinner time, you only got one of two choices, right? You can order room service. You're laying on the bed. You got your laptop on your knees, and you're watching some stupid TV, and you're thinking, "Man, what a loser I am! I'm sitting up here all by myself. I should go down tomorrow. I should go down to the restaurant." So tomorrow comes, you're like, I'm not going to sit by myself. I'm going to go down. So you get this table for one. They put you like in the corner of the restaurant, and then you're sitting there and you're eating there. And you're eating like, man, I hope nobody sees me. They think I'm a loser because I'm eating alone, right? So you're like in a lose-lose situation when you travel alone for work. Well, I met this one guy one time, and he hates to eat alone. And so what he told me is when he goes out and he's at a restaurant and he's solo, he'll go and he'll ask other people if he can join them for dinner. I'm like, dude, you do what? He's like, yeah, I'll go out there and I'll just start asking people if I can join them. I'm like, really? So I asked him, I said, hey, so what's your yes rate? How many out of 100 people that you ask, are you like at a 90, 95% success rate? He's like, no, I'm like 30, 35. I'm like, so it's like no, yes? It's like, yeah, no, yes. I'm like, dude, you're my hero. How do you do that? And he goes, well, my goal there is to meet somebody to have dinner with. So if I go and ask somebody if they want to have dinner and they say no, they're not saying no to me. They're having a work meeting. They're having a date. They had a long day traveling. Maybe they don't like me. What do I care? I'm trying to find people that I want to eat with. So to me, that's an inspiration. That's I think of this person sometimes when it's up to me to put myself out there. But I want to get to, so these are all fun stories, but I want to get to the psychological reason of why we procrastinate. So when we're 3, 4, 5 years old, when we're really developmental time, there's only one thing that matters in our life, and that's the love and adoration of our parents. So when I'm 3 years old, I don't care what food I'm eating, I don't care what toys I'm playing with, what clothes I'm wearing, I just want mom and dad to love me, right? And so say that I'm 4 years old, keeping that in mind. I'm 4 years old, and my dad was tough on me. I'm going to toughen Michael up. We'll give him some tough love, get him ready for this world. And so my dad's here. We're at a picnic, and there's 100 other kids. And 4 years old, my dad's on the sideline, and we have a race with 100 other kids. So they say go, and I race as fast as I can. I come in third out of 100 with 100 other kids. And my dad, he's tough on me. So at the end of the race, third out of 100 kids, that's great, right? But what does my dad say to me? What's wrong with you, Michael? Third, you're better than that. You can run better than that. I want you to put your heart into it, and I want you to pump your arms. All right, Dad. Yes, yeah, Dad. Okay, I got it. Next race come, 100 other kids. I pump my arms as hard as I can. I put my heart into it. I come on second out of 100 kids. What's my pop say to me? First loser. What the heck is wrong with you? You got to be first. So keeping in mind that the only thing that matters to me as a kid is the love and adoration of my father, what connection do I make as a little kid? The connection I make is love equals winning. When I become first, then I will get that love and the adoration that I crave. So let's take another example. Say I get an A+ in a test, and I'm all excited, and I'm like, hey, Mom, I just got an A+. What does she say to me? Michael, A+, I love you so much. A+, I love you so much. That's the connection again. So the next time I can take a hard test or an easy test, which test do I take? I take the easy test. The next time I can take an easy test or no test, which test do I take? I take no test because there's no chance of not being perfect. There's no chance of not being 100. There's no chance of not becoming first. So it's a way for me to hide. Now remember when I said procrastination, what are you procrastinating about? So I want you to take what you were procrastinating about. I told you to put it back here. Let's bring it forward. And how is that you taking no test? How is that you hiding out? How is that you not taking a risk, playing it safe? Because as a game changer, as a soul center leader, we take risks. And if there's anything I want you to leave here with, it's okay to take risks. And it's okay. I want you to be a game changer. I want you to go for it. I want you to be a soul center leader. I want you to put yourself out there. And some people are going to be on board with it and some people aren't. But again, if you want to go far, you have to go in. So it's about in. It's about going in. It's about having compassion with yourself. And I'll tell you, being at a conference like this is great because there's a lot of negative people out there that are going to bring you down. There's the game changer. So you want to surround yourself by really optimistic, driven people. I'm also a representative of LEAP conference in Zagreb from May 11th to 13th. There's another conference similar to this. It's called the LEAP conference in Zagreb. But that's why places like this are so important. Because as business leaders, it used to be the politicians and the activists that really made change in this world. Now it's business people. So what I want everybody to do is I want you to realize how important it is for you to really show up with your positivity, optimism, and love, and be a soul-centered leader. Because ladies and gentlemen, the world needs you at your best. Thank you.